The manila envelope sat on my kitchen island like a bomb waiting to explode. My hands trembled as I picked it up, feeling the weight of whatever papers were inside. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows of my home office, I could see Marcus pulling into the circular driveway in his new Mercedes. The car cost more than most people made in a year. I knew because I had paid for it with money from my real estate development company. My name is Janelle Morrison, and 6 months ago, I thought I had everything figured out. I was 38 years old, CEO of Morrison Development Group, and owner of a stunning 7,000 square foot mansion in the most exclusive neighborhood in Atlanta. My company had just closed a deal on a $50 million mixed-use development project downtown. Life was supposed to be perfect, but perfect is just an illusion people sell themselves before reality tears it apart. I heard the front door open. Marcus walked in wearing one of the tailored suits I bought him for his supposed job interviews. He had been unemployed for 3 years. At first, I understood. The marketing firm where he worked went under. These things happen. I told him to take his time finding the right position. We had my income. We would be fine. Except he never looked for another job. Not really. Every interview he claimed to have never led anywhere. Every opportunity mysteriously fell through at the last minute. Meanwhile, our joint credit card bills climbed higher each month. Designer clothes, expensive dinners at restaurants I never went to, hotel charges from cities I knew he never mentioned visiting. I ignored the signs. I made excuses. I convinced myself I was being paranoid and controlling. A successful woman should support her husband. That is what everyone always said. That is what my mother drilled into my head since I was a little girl. Stand by your man. Make him feel important. Do not embarrass him with your success. So I stayed quiet and wrote the checks and buried my suspicions under mountains of work. Marcus walked into the kitchen. He kissed my cheek without meeting my eyes. His cologne smelled expensive. Not the cologne I bought him. Something different. Something I had noticed on his clothes for months, but never mentioned. "Hey, baby," he said, opening the refrigerator and pulling out a beer. "How was work?" "Fine," I replied, still holding the envelope. "What is this?" He glanced at the envelope, and something flickered across his face. Fear maybe, or excitement. I could not tell which. Oh, that. Just some paperwork for the refinance. Remember we talked about it last month? I did not remember talking about any refinance. We did not need to refinance anything. The house was paid off. I bought it cash 4 years ago after selling my first development project. No mortgage, no debt, nothing to refinance. What refinance? I asked carefully. Marcus took a long drink of his beer. He would not look at me. The house. Interest rates are crazy low right now. It's stupid not to take advantage. We could pull out some equity. You know, for investments. My stomach turned. Investments in what? I have some opportunities. Business ventures. Nothing you need to worry about. Marcus, I need to worry about anything involving my house. Our house, he corrected, finally meeting my eyes. His jaw was set. Defensive. We're married. It's our house. Legally, he was wrong. I purchased the house before we married. I never added his name to the deed. My real estate attorney specifically advised me to keep certain assets separate. At the time, I thought it was unromantic and cynical. Now I thank God for that advice. The house is in my name, I said quietly. You know that. His face hardened. Yeah, you never let me forget it. Your house, your company, your money. You act like I'm just some charity case you're supporting out of the goodness of your heart. I never said that. You don't have to say it. I feel it every single day. He slammed the beer bottle on the counter. You know what it's like? Being married to someone more successful? Everyone looking at me like I'm useless? Like I'm just arm candy for the important businesswoman? I stared at him. This was new. He had never expressed any of this before. Or maybe he had, and I was too busy trying to make everything perfect to notice. Marcus, if you felt this way, why didn't you talk to me? Talk to you? When? You're always working. Always on calls. Always focused on your next big deal. When was I supposed to bring it up? He was not wrong. I did work constantly. Building a company from nothing required sacrifice. I thought he understood that. I thought he was proud of what I built. So your solution is to refinance my house without discussing it with me first? I'm trying to contribute, he shouted. I'm trying to bring something to this marriage besides being your kept man. He told me they're refinance papers. These aren't refinance papers. This is a property transfer. If you sign this, you're giving him the house. All of it. You'd have zero ownership. I know. And you weren't going to call a lawyer before signing? I wasn't going to sign at all. But I needed someone else to confirm I'm not crazy. Tasha set the papers down. You're not crazy. This is financial abuse. He's trying to steal your house. Hearing someone else say it out loud made it real. What do I do? First, you don't sign anything. Second, you call Monica. Monica Jeffers was Tasha's boss, a senior partner at Baker and Associates, specializing in family law and complex divorce cases. I met her a few times at Tasha's firm events. She had a reputation for being ruthless in court and fierce in protecting her clients. I'm not ready to think about divorce, I said. Maybe not, but you need legal protection right now. Monica can advise you on how to handle this without necessarily filing for divorce. At minimum, you need to know your rights. It feels like such a betrayal. Calling a lawyer behind his back. He's trying to steal your house behind your back. I think he betrayed you first. She was right. Of course she was right. But acknowledging it meant accepting my marriage was over. The marriage I tried so hard to make work. The man I loved and supported for 3 years. It all crumbled the moment he decided my house was worth more than our relationship. Okay, I said. Call Monica. Monica agreed to meet me the next morning at her office. I barely slept that night. Marcus came home around midnight, smelling like perfume and whiskey. He mumbled something about being at Derek's place and fell into bed without showering. I lay awake next to him, wondering who he really was. The next morning, I told him I had early meetings and left before he woke up. Monica's office was in a glass high-rise downtown, all modern furniture and expensive art. She met me in a conference room with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Monica was in her late 40s, impeccably dressed in a charcoal suit, her natural hair styled in elegant locks. She radiated competence and control. She made me feel safer just being in the same room. Tasha filled me in on the basics, Monica said after we settled in with coffee. Show me what you have. I handed her the envelope, watched her flip through the pages with a practiced eye. Her expression never changed, but I saw her jaw tighten as she read. How long have you been married? She asked. 3 years. And the house was purchased when? 4 years ago. Before we married. It's only in my name. Good. That makes things cleaner. She closed the folder. Janelle, I'm going to be very direct with you. Your husband is committing fraud. These documents misrepresent the transaction. They claim you're voluntarily transferring property as part of equitable distribution of marital assets. But this house isn't a marital asset. You owned it before marriage. He has no legal claim to it. So I'm right. This is theft. Not just theft. It's elder financial abuse statutes in some jurisdictions, though you're young for that. But it's definitely fraud, and it's grounds for a restraining order and criminal charges if you choose to pursue them. Criminal charges? This is serious, Janelle. He's not asking you to add him to the title. He's trying to steal your house entirely. If you sign these papers, you'd be homeless while he owned a multi-million-dollar property he didn't pay for. The reality hit me like a punch. Why would he do this? I don't know, but we need to find out. Men don't usually do this in isolation. There's usually a reason. Gambling debts, another woman, some financial pressure we don't know about. He's been unemployed for 3 years. Living on your income? Yes. Any unusual expenses? I thought about the credit card bills, the hotel charges, the new car. A lot. But I thought that was just him enjoying his freedom. Or him spending money preparing for something. Does he have any other assets? Investments? Savings? By taking money out of my house? By investing in our future? The word "our" kept coming up. Our house. Our future. But when I asked about specifics, he got vague and defensive. I picked up the envelope again. I'm not signing anything until I read it thoroughly and have my attorney review it. Marcus's expression shifted. The anger drained away. replaced by something else. Calculation, maybe. He stepped closer, reaching for my hand. Baby, come on. Don't make this a whole legal thing. It's just a standard refinance. My buddy Derek set it up. He got us a great rate. Your buddy Derek? I pulled my hand away. Derek from the gym? The personal trainer. He has his real estate license now. He's helping people with mortgages. He hooked us up. Derek has a real estate license? I tried to keep the skepticism out of my voice. Derek was a nice enough guy, but he could barely string 3 sentences together. The idea of him navigating mortgage documents seemed unlikely. He's with a company. They handle all the paperwork. We just need to sign. Who is we? The house isn't in your name. Marcus's jaw clenched again. That's what this is partially about. Adding me to the title. Making things equal. There it was. The real reason. He wanted his name on my house. The house I bought with money I earned through years of 80-hour work weeks and risky investments. The house that represented my independence and success. He wanted half of it without contributing a single dollar. I'm not signing anything tonight, I said firmly. I need time to think. Janelle, the rate lock expires in 3 days. If we don't sign by Friday, we lose this opportunity. Then I guess we lose it. He stared at me, anger building behind his eyes again. For a moment, I thought he might explode. Instead, he grabbed his keys off the counter. Fine. I'm going out. Apparently, I can't do anything right around here anyway. He stormed out. I heard his Mercedes roar to life and speed down the driveway. Only after he left did I let myself breathe. My hands were shaking as I opened the envelope. The documents inside were not standard refinance paperwork. I had closed enough real estate deals to recognize the difference. These were quitclaim deeds and something called an interspousal transfer grant deed. Legal jargon filled page after page, but the basic message was clear. If I signed these papers, I would be transferring ownership of my house to Marcus, not adding him to the title, transferring it entirely to him. My house would become his house. I would own nothing. I sat down hard on one of the kitchen stools. My vision blurred. This was not a refinance. This was theft. Marcus was trying to steal my house. The papers claimed we had agreed to this transfer as part of equalizing marital assets. They stated I was willingly giving him the house to remedy the imbalance in the marital estate. None of this was true. We never discussed equalizing anything. I never agreed to give him my house. These papers were fraud. My phone buzzed. A text from Marcus. Sorry for getting upset. I just want us to be equal partners. Think about it. I love you. I stared at the message, trying to reconcile it with the documents in front of me. How long had he been planning this? Did he really think I would just sign my house over to him? Did he think I was that naive? Or did he think he could pressure me into it? Wear me down with guilt about being the breadwinner? Make me feel like a bad wife for wanting to protect what I built? I needed help. I needed someone I could trust. Someone who would tell me the truth and help me figure out what to do next. I called my best friend, Tasha. She picked up on the second ring. Girl, what's wrong? Tasha had known me since college. She could always tell when something was off. I need you to come over. Now if you can. I need to show you something. Give me 20 minutes. Tasha arrived in 15. She came through the door like a small hurricane, already talking before her coat was off. Okay, spill. What did Marcus do? I showed her the papers, watched her face change as she read through them. Tasha worked as a paralegal at a big law firm. She understood legal documents better than most attorneys. Janelle, she said slowly, looking up from the papers. Do you know what these are? Not that I know of, but I never looked closely. We kept our finances mostly separate. I paid the bills. He had a credit card on my account. I didn't monitor what he spent. Monica made notes. We need to pull all your financial records. Bank statements, credit card bills, property records. I want to know everywhere your money went in the last 3 years. You think he's been planning this the whole time? I think we need to find out exactly what he's been planning. We spent the next hour going through everything. Monica asked questions I never thought to ask. Did Marcus have access to my business accounts? No. Did he know my passwords? Some of them. Did he have any power of attorney over my affairs? No. Did we have a prenuptial agreement? No, that last one might be a problem, Monica said. Without a prenup, he could claim entitlement to half your income during the marriage, but the house is still separate property. He can't touch it unless you give it to him, which he's trying to make me do. Exactly. But here's what worries me. This paperwork is sophisticated. The language is specific. Someone with legal knowledge helped him draft this. This isn't something Derek, the personal trainer, threw together. You think he hired a lawyer? Or he's working with someone who knows real estate law? Someone who understands how to structure a fraudulent transfer to make it look legitimate. What do I do? Several things. First, you don't sign anything. Ever. Second, you secure all your financial accounts. Change passwords. Remove his access. Third, you gather documentation of everything. Every bank statement. Every credit card charge. Every suspicious expense. Fourth, you prepare for the possibility this might get ugly. How ugly? Divorce is rarely pretty, Janelle, especially when significant assets are involved, and especially when one party has already shown they're willing to commit fraud. You need to be smart. You need to protect yourself. I just wanted a good marriage. I know, but right now, you need to accept that marriage might be over. Your priority is protecting what you built. You can grieve the relationship later. Right now, we fight. I left Monica's office with a clear action plan and a knot in my stomach. She was right. I knew she was right, but knowing it did not make it easier. I went home to find Marcus in the kitchen, making lunch. He smiled when he saw me. Hey, baby. How were your meetings? Fine. Did you think any more about the papers? I did. He lit up. And I'm not signing them. His smile disappeared. Why not? Because they're not what you said they were. They're not refinance papers. They transfer the house entirely to you. I owe nothing. Marcus set down his sandwich. Who told you that? Does it matter? Did you take them to a lawyer? His voice rose. Did you seriously take our private business to a lawyer? You tried to steal my house, Marcus. What did you expect me to do? I wasn't stealing anything. I was trying to make things fair. Fair would be adding you to the title as joint owners. This gives you the whole house. Because you make all the money. He shouted. Because you own everything. I have nothing. After 3 years of marriage, I have nothing to show for it. You have a car I bought. Clothes I bought. You live rent-free in a mansion I own. What exactly do you not have? Self-respect. Pride. A sense that I matter. So you thought stealing my house would give you that? He ran his hands through his hair. I noticed they were shaking. I just wanted something that was mine. Something I could point to and say I owned. Is that so terrible? Yes, when you're taking it from your wife. I wasn't taking it. You were giving it. Under false pretenses. That's fraud, Marcus. He went very still. You're calling me a criminal now. I'm saying what you tried to do is illegal. I can't believe this. I try to do something for us, and you turn it into some legal case. Do you even love me anymore? The question hung in the air. I wanted to say yes. I wanted to believe we could fix this. But looking at him across the kitchen island, I realized I did not recognize the man standing there. This was not the person I married. Or maybe it was, and I had been too blind to see it. I don't know, I said honestly. His face crumpled. For a moment, I felt guilty. Then I remembered the papers, the lies, the betrayal. I'm staying at Derek's tonight, he said quietly. I need space to think. Okay. He grabbed his keys and wallet, stopped at the door and turned back. I never meant to hurt you. I just wanted to matter. You always mattered, Marcus. You just didn't see it. After he left, I sat in the silence of my house. My beautiful house that almost stopped being mine. I called Tasha. How did it go with Monica? She asked. She's amazing. She gave me a whole plan. Good. Now stick to it. No matter what Marcus says. No matter how guilty he makes you feel. You protect yourself first. He left. Said he's staying at Derek's. Even better. While he's gone, change the locks. Change your passwords. Secure everything. Don't wait. I spent the rest of the day doing exactly that. Called a locksmith to change all the exterior door locks. Change passwords on every account Marcus might know. Called my bank to remove him as an authorized user on my credit cards. Went through 3 years of statements and highlighted every suspicious charge. The evidence was staggering. Over $200,000 in unexplained expenses over 3 years. Hotel rooms, cash advances, charges to jewelry stores. A pattern emerged. Every month, large sums disappeared to places I did not recognize. I made copies of everything and dropped them at Monica's office. She called me an hour later. "Janelle, we need to talk. What I'm seeing in these statements is concerning." "Concerning how?" "There's a pattern. Regular charges to the same hotel. The Monarch. Downtown. Same room number. 2847, twice a week for the last 2 years." My stomach dropped. He's been having an affair. It looks like it. But there's more. Those jewelry store charges? They're from the same store. Tiffany's. For different purchases over 6 months. Totaling nearly $30,000. He never gave me any jewelry from Tiffany's. Exactly. And there are charges to a law firm. Klein and Associates. They're a small practice specializing in real estate transactions. My guess is they're the ones who drew up those transfer papers. So he paid lawyers to help him steal my house. With my money. That's what it looks like. I'm going to file a motion for exclusive use and possession of the residence. That means he can't come back to the house without your permission. I'm also filing for a restraining order based on the financial abuse and fraud. And I'm recommending we go to the police. The police? What he did is criminal, Janelle. He defrauded you. He forged documents. He tried to steal your property. These are crimes. You have the right to press charges. I just want my house protected. I don't want him arrested. I understand. But you need to understand something. Men like this don't stop. If he's willing to go this far, he'll go further. Pressing charges protects you and sends a clear message that you won't be victimized. I thought about it. Monica was right. Every time I gave Marcus the benefit of the doubt, he took more. Every time I made excuses, he saw weakness. I spent 3 years trying to be a good wife. Maybe it was time to be a strong woman instead. Okay, let's file charges. Good. I'll start the paperwork. In the meantime, do not engage with Marcus. Don't answer his calls. Don't meet him anywhere private. All communication goes through me. He's going to be furious. Let him be furious. You have the law on your side. That night, I got a call from an unknown number. I answered before thinking. "Hello, Mrs. Morrison? This is Detective Angela Crawford with Atlanta PD. I'm calling about a complaint filed against your husband, Marcus Morrison." My heart raced. "Yes, I've reviewed the documents your attorney provided. I need you to come to the station tomorrow to give a formal statement. Can you do that?" "Of course. What happens next?" "We'll investigate. If the evidence supports the complaint, we'll file charges. Given the amount involved, this would likely be felony fraud. He could face serious prison time." "Prison time? For my husband?" The reality hit hard. "Mrs. Morrison? Are you still there?" "Yes. Sorry. This is just a lot. I understand. These cases are never easy. But you did the right thing by coming forward. Many victims don't." Victims? That word again. I was a victim now. Not a successful businesswoman. Not an independent homeowner. A victim. I gave my statement at the police station the next day. Detective Crawford was professional and kind. She walked me through everything. The timeline. The evidence. The pattern of fraud. "Do you know a woman named Simone Parsons?" she asked. "No. Why?" "The hotel room at the Monarch is registered to her. She's been checking in regularly for 2 years. Same room. Same nights Marcus's credit card was charged. The woman he's having an affair with. Possibly. We're looking into it. But there's something else. Simone Parsons works for Klein and Associates, the law firm that drafted your property transfer papers. Everything clicked into place. Marcus was not just having an affair. He was having an affair with someone from the law firm. Someone who helped him create the paperwork to steal my house. This was not a spur-of-the-moment decision. This was a calculated plan involving multiple people. "How long have they been planning this?" I asked. "Hard to say. But the first charge to Klein and Associates was 18 months ago. So at least that long. 18 months. A year and a half. While I was working to support us. while I was trying to be understanding about his job search, while I was making excuses for his behavior. He was planning to rob me. I left the police station feeling numb. Monica called as I got to my car. The restraining order was approved, she said. Marcus can't come within 500 feet of you or the house. I've had the order served. He should know by now. What did he say? His attorney called. Some guy named Richard Klein from Klein and Associates. The same firm. Yes, which means they've now crossed a serious line. They represented Marcus in defrauding you, and now they're representing him in the criminal case. That's an ethical violation. I've already filed a complaint with the state bar. This keeps getting worse. It gets better first. I have news. I found out about Simone Parsons. She's been living in that hotel room for 2 years. Not visiting. Living there full time. Marcus has been paying for it. That's over $100,000 in hotel charges. He's been supporting another woman. That's what it looks like. And there's more. Simone is pregnant. The world tilted. What? 5 months. I got medical records through Discovery. Marcus is listed as the father on her insurance forms. He got another woman pregnant, while married to me, while living in my house, while spending my money. Janelle, are you okay? No, but I will be. I drove home in a daze. My phone buzzed constantly. Calls from unknown numbers. Text messages from Marcus's friends. People telling me I was making a mistake. Saying I should give Marcus another chance. Claiming I was overreacting. I blocked all of them. Tasha was right. I needed to protect myself first. Grieve later. Right now I fight. The next few weeks blurred together. Court hearings. Police interviews. Financial audits. Monica was a machine. Filing motion after motion, systematically building the case. Marcus tried to fight back. His lawyer argued the property transfer was a legitimate marital agreement. Claimed I was vindictive and trying to punish him for the affair. Said I was using my wealth to bully him. But Monica was better. She produced the credit card statements, the hotel records, the jewelry store receipts, the timeline of the affair with Simone, the complaint I filed with the state bar against Klein and Associates, the fraud complaint with the police. Everything was documented. Everything was provable. The judge was not sympathetic to Marcus. At our final hearing, she looked at him over her glasses and said, Mr. Morrison, you attempted to defraud your wife out of property she owned before marriage. You had an affair. You got another woman pregnant. You spent over $200,000 of your wife's money without permission. And you hired lawyers to help you commit fraud. Do you understand the severity of what you've done? Marcus mumbled something I could not hear. Speak up, Mr. Morrison. I was trying to build a life, he said louder. I felt like I had nothing. So you tried to take everything from your wife. That's your defense. I just wanted to matter. You could have gotten a job. You could have been honest. You could have acted like an adult. Instead, you committed fraud. That's a choice, Mr. Morrison. And choices have consequences. The judge granted me everything. Exclusive ownership of the house. Divorce on grounds of fraud. Recovery of all marital funds Marcus spent. She ordered him to pay back the $200,000 plus interest. She granted my request for a permanent restraining order. And she ordered the case file sent to the district attorney for criminal prosecution. I walked out of the courthouse a free woman. Marcus left in handcuffs. He was arrested right there for felony fraud. The bail was set at $50,000. I heard through Tasha that Simone tried to bail him out but could not raise the money. The irony was not lost on me. He stole from me to support her, and she could not even help him when he needed it. Simone ended up testifying against him. The police offered her immunity in exchange for her cooperation. She admitted helping draft the papers, admitted the affair, admitted knowing the documents were fraudulent. She threw Marcus under the bus to save herself. Marcus was convicted of fraud, forgery, and theft. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Klein and Associates lost their licenses. Richard Klein was disbarred for helping a client commit fraud. I sold the house. Too many bad memories. Used the money to start a new development project in the suburbs. A community of affordable housing for single mothers. Named it Morrison Commons after my maiden name. The name I took back after the divorce. On opening day, I stood in front of the first completed building, surrounded by families moving into their new homes. Tasha stood beside me. You did it, she said. You turned something terrible into something good. I had help. I couldn't have done it without you and Monica. You did the hard part. You fought. You refused to be a victim. You took your power back. A woman approached us, carrying a toddler on her hip. She had tears in her eyes. Mrs. Morrison? I'm Lisa. I'm moving into Unit 4B. I just wanted to say thank you. I was living in my car with my daughter before this. You saved our lives. I hugged her, felt the weight of the past year lift off my shoulders. Marcus tried to destroy me. Instead, he freed me. Freed me to see who he really was. Freed me to build something meaningful. Freed me to help people who needed it. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, I told Lisa. Welcome home. That night, alone in my new condo overlooking the city, I poured a glass of wine and toasted to the future. To second chances. To being smart enough to protect what matters. To having friends who tell you the truth. To lawyers who fight for justice. And to never, ever signing something without reading it first. The story went viral. Local news picked it up. Then national news. I did interviews about financial abuse in marriage. About protecting assets. About the warning signs. About refusing to be a victim. Other women reached out, shared their stories, asked for advice. I started a foundation, hired Monica to provide free legal services to women facing similar situations, used my platform to advocate for stronger laws protecting marital property. Marcus got out of prison after 18 months on good behavior. I heard he moved to another state, started working at a car dealership, never paid back the $200,000 he owed. The judgment would follow him forever, but I did not chase it. I had something better than money. I had my freedom and my peace. 3 years after the divorce, I met Jonathan at a real estate conference. He was a developer from Chicago. Smart, funny, successful in his own right. We dated for 2 years before he proposed. I said yes, but I also said he was signing a prenup. He laughed and said he would not have it any other way. We wrote it together. Protected each other's assets, agreed on how to handle finances, started our marriage as equal partners. On our wedding day, Tasha gave the toast. She raised her glass and said, to Janelle, who taught all of us that love is important, but protecting yourself is essential, who showed us that being smart is not being unromantic, and who proved that the best revenge is living well. Everyone cheered. I looked around the room at the people I loved. The people who stood by me, the people who told me the truth when I needed to hear it. And I thought about the manila envelope that almost destroyed my life, the papers Marcus tried to make me sign, the fraud that could have left me homeless. I thought about the moment I chose to read those papers instead of blindly trusting him, the moment I called Monica instead of signing, the moment I decided my assets mattered more than his ego. That was the moment everything changed. Not in court. Not when he was arrested, but in my kitchen, holding those papers, choosing to protect myself. Some people thought I was cold, thought I should have forgiven him, thought I was too harsh pressing charges, thought I destroyed his life over a mistake. But those people did not understand. Marcus did not make a mistake. He made a choice. He chose to betray me. He chose to commit fraud. He chose another woman and her unborn child over me. I just chose not to be destroyed by his choices. That is not cold. That is survival. That is self-respect. That is refusing to let someone else's bad decisions become your tragedy. I learned a lot from that experience. I learned that love is not enough. That trust has to be earned and verified. That people will show you who they are if you pay attention. That protecting yourself is not selfish. That asking for help is strength, not weakness. I learned that sometimes the person you marry is not the person they really are. That sometimes people change. Or maybe they just stop pretending. Either way, your job is not to fix them. Your job is to protect yourself. I learned that a good lawyer is worth every penny. That documentation saves lives. That paper trails do not lie. That the legal system works when you have evidence. I learned that friends who tell you hard truths are better than family who tell you comfortable lies. That sometimes the people closest to you are the ones most invested in your dysfunction. That sometimes you have to walk away from everyone who wants you to stay small. Most importantly, I learned that I am stronger than I ever knew. That I could lose my marriage and my sense of security and my trust in people and still survive, still thrive, still build something meaningful. The mansion I almost lost became the money that built Morrison Commons. The betrayal that almost destroyed me became the story that helped other women. The worst year of my life became the foundation for the best years. That is what people do not understand about survival stories. They are not about the tragedy. They are about what comes after. They are about the choice to keep going, to protect yourself, to build something better. Marcus tried to take everything. Instead, he gave me something invaluable. He gave me clarity. He showed me exactly who he was. He forced me to be strong when I wanted to be weak. He made me fight when I wanted to give up. And in fighting him, I found myself. The real me, not the accommodating wife, not the understanding partner, but the woman who built a company from nothing, who bought a mansion at 34, who created jobs and opportunities, who refused to be a victim. That woman was always there. I just forgot her for a while, buried her under guilt and duty and the desire to be loved. Marcus did not destroy her. He reminded her to come back out. So no, I do not regret pressing charges. I do not regret the restraining order. I do not regret any of it, because all of it led me here, to a life I built on my own terms, to a marriage based on honesty and respect, to a foundation helping women escape what I escaped. The manila envelope was not the end of my story. It was the beginning of a better one. The beginning of the story where I saved myself. And that is the story worth telling. Not the part where I almost lost everything, but the part where I chose to fight back. Where I chose documentation over denial. Where I chose legal action over blind trust. Where I chose myself. Because in the end, that is the choice that matters. Not whether someone tries to hurt you, but whether you let them. Not whether someone betrays you, but whether you stay after they do. Not whether someone tries to steal from you, but whether you protect what is yours. I chose to protect what was mine. Not just my house, but my dignity, my peace, my future, my right to sleep at night without wondering what was being taken while I was not looking. That choice saved me, and that choice can save anyone. You just have to be brave enough to make it, even when it is hard, even when people judge you, even when the person trying to hurt you is someone you loved, especially then, because the person you loved would never try to steal your house. The person you loved would never commit fraud. The person you loved would never lie and cheat and manipulate. The person trying to do those things, they are not the person you loved. They are the person they always were. And you deserve better. I deserve better. Every woman deserves better. Better than being stolen from. Better than being lied to. Better than signing away their security because someone makes them feel guilty. The story people wanted was the revenge story. The story where I destroy Marcus, where I make him suffer, where I get some dramatic public confrontation. But the real story is quieter. It is about changing locks and passwords, about filing papers and showing up to court, about gathering bank statements and highlighting charges, about reading documents before signing them, about calling a lawyer when something feels wrong. The real story is about boring, practical choices that save your life, not dramatic gestures, but smart decisions, documentation, evidence, legal protection. That is the real revenge. Not making his life worse, but making mine better. Not destroying him, but building something he could never touch. Morrison Commons stands as my victory. Not the court case, not the criminal charges, but the housing complex helping 200 families, the foundation providing legal services, the women who call me thanking me for telling my story. That is success. That is revenge. That is justice. And every day I drive past those buildings, I remember the manila envelope, the moment of choice, the decision to read instead of sign, to question instead of trust, to protect instead of accommodate. That moment saved my life, and it can save yours too. If you are facing something similar, if someone is pressuring you to sign something, if your gut tells you something is wrong, if you are making excuses for someone's behavior, Listen to that voice. Read the papers. Call a lawyer. Change the locks. Protect yourself first. Always. Every time. No exceptions. Because your security matters more than someone else's ego. Your assets matter more than their pride. Your future matters more than their present need. Your peace matters more than their comfort. You matter. Your house matters. Your money matters. Your safety matters. Never let anyone convince you otherwise. Not your husband. Not your family. Not society. Not anyone. The woman who almost signed her house away taught me that. And now I am teaching it to you. Do not sign. Do not trust blindly. Do not accommodate theft. Do not call it love when it is fraud. Protect yourself. Every single time. Even when it is hard. Even when it is lonely. Even when everyone tells you that you are wrong. Because the alternative is losing everything. And you work too hard to build your life to give it away to someone who does not deserve it. The manila envelope was my wake-up call. What will yours be? And more importantly, what will you do when it comes? I hope you read the papers. I hope you call a lawyer. I hope you protect yourself. I hope you choose you. Because in the end, that is the only choice that matters. And it is the only choice you will never regret. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for caring about financial abuse. Thank you for believing women when they tell you someone tried to steal from them. And if you are facing something similar, please know you are not alone. You are not crazy. You are not overreacting. You are not making a big deal out of nothing. You are protecting yourself. And that is the smartest thing you can do. Stay safe. Stay strong. And never, ever sign without reading first.